routing table, just forward the packet to router 2. That is what this default static route is. Just to caution you guys, that default static route and default gateway are a different thing. Okay, so you pay attention to that. So on a Cisco router, you can use the show IP route command to look at the routing table of your router, and you will see you will see some information. So I'm just going to make a quick explanation on this one in my next slide, so you guys understand how to interpret this thing. But we'll understand this a whole lot. So networks can be shown this way: directly connected networks, or remote network, how the route was learned, the trustworthiness, and so on and so forth. I'll talk about this in the next slide. Alright guys, so this is exactly the interpretation that I was telling you guys. When a router interface is configured and activated, it will have this. These are the two route informations that this router will have: networks that are directly connected and the local IP address itself for those networks. So this is exactly what one would see at all times. Now let's interpret the route information. Now let's say, for instance, I use show IP route on my router, and there are some remote networks that are configured. Maybe I use static route, or I use a dynamic routing protocol, for instance EIGRP, like in this scenario, in CCNA routing and switching slide. So you have D here, that means the EIGRP. Now it's telling you that this network is remote to router 1. This command is used on router 1. It's saying that router 1 learn about this network through EIGRP, and then it use administrative distance of 90 and metric of 2170112. So that here is it tells how trustworthy is the route, and this one is the metric, that's how far, and it has to know how the network is learned. And this one here is the next hop, that is the IP address of the neighboring router, and this one is a time lapse. How long does it take for this router to forward packet or to understand, to know about this network, and how does it learn? It uses its interface, that is the exit interface, 0000. So I'll explain this one in our subsequent videos where we're doing practicals. You'll understand this more from that. So when a packet arrives at a router's destination, how a router get to the next hop is the next hop IP address is the neighbor's IP address. It is very important that you guys pay attention. If you have questions on this one, you ask me, because in our semester 2 these things would come, and if you don't understand, it will hurt. Okay, so the next hop is the neighboring router's IP address within the same network. Let's say, for instance, router 1 and router 2 share this network 209.165.200.224/30, and router 1 on this serial link is using 225, and router 2 is using 226. So router 1's neighbor here is router 2. So in order for router 1 to get into router 2, it will use this neighbor IP address. So that's the neighbor's gate address, that is 224. So this is what we call next hop. Router 1's next hop is router 2's interface IP address, and router 2's next hop is router 1's interface IP address, that is on the same local network segment. So this is here at the 1 segment here. So you guys pay attention to this. I was explaining about the remote networks, and now I am talking about next hop. Please pay attention. If you have any questions, ask, and I will give you the proper explanation. So guys, we move to routers, and that will be the end of our site. So we're just going to be talking about routers, and routers are just like computers. They have all the components of a computer. All that routers do is to make sure that they forward packets, and then they create the best path for packets to be moved. Okay, so a router is a computer like, and then just like this. So routers, like Cisco routers, are designed to meet the needs of wide variety of business, and now also therefore we have different varieties of Cisco routers. We have branch routers, and we have LAN routers, WAN routers, and we have service provider routers. The focus of the CCNA certification is on the branch router family. So that's why we even have on our packet tracer we will use in the branch routers, for Cisco devices. Okay, so routers, like I said, are just like your PCs. It has a motherboard, it has a processor, it has RAM, it has the NVRAM, it has all these things, BIOS, all that you're thinking about. So it has all those settings. It has CMOS battery and so on and so forth. So it's just like a router, a PC. So it has all that a PC has, but there are differences that this one does not have any GUI. So the component highlighted in the figure here is a CPU, and you all know what the CPU is. So the Cisco routers has what we call a RAM, and the RAM, what it does is that it stores the running configurations, and those configurations are kept before they are saved. And it also have what we call the NVRAM. What the NVRAM does is it saves the startup configuration file, and it has a file. The flash is responsible, just like the hard drive. It stores the operating system itself, that is the iOS file. And the ROM here is it provides host, that is it monitors and it provides basic limited iOS, just like when you're going to put your save mode to make some changes. So that said, we have an interpretation. The RAM is volatile, that is used to store applications, processes, and data needed to be executed by the CPU. That means these information like the running configurations are stored here, and the ROM it provides instructions and limited iOS. NVRAM is non-volatile, but what it does is stores data permanently on the router, and the flash is non-volatile. It also used to permanently store the iOS image, that is the operating system of the Cisco router. There are numerous types and models of routers. We have different types of routers, and they have they all have the same general hardware components like the power supply, cooling fan, and so on and so forth, just like your computers. So Cisco routers and switches typically can interconnect many devices. So this is how a Cisco router look like. You have the covers. These ones are when you want to add other modules, like you want to add serial modules. That is the covers. You can open these ones and add the modules there, because these Cisco routers are modular routers. You can add and remove anything in here. So you have two interfaces on a Cisco router by default, two fast Ethernet or gigabit internet interface port, and you have a console port perhaps, and then you can have a USB port, and all those things are available right there. Alright, so we move. So LAN and WAN interfaces, Cisco routers has WAN interfaces and they have LAN interfaces. These interfaces are the interfaces that connects. The LANs are, let's say for instance, the fast Ethernet and gigabit. The WANs is like the serial connections that will be used. So to connect to your Cisco router or to access your Cisco router, you can access your Cisco router through in-band, through out-of-band, and out-of-band. Out-of-band ones and in-band. Out-of-band is the console. That is, you have physical access, and we have the in-band here is the secure cell, that is SSH Telnet. We discussed about these ones in our previous video when we were talking about switch. So our today's practical will include router, switch, and a PC or maybe two PCs to test connectivity. Next. So that is it. We'll now move to configurations, and that is it. Cisco routers and switches load the iOS image. So that's the boot up process. Like for instance, if you have your computer, the first thing when you press on the start button, it takes you to the boot, the power on self test, and then check the components. If all components are fine, then the operating system will be loaded. I will locate it, and if it's allocated, it is loaded, and from there the components will now hand everything to the operating system. So that's the same thing that happens here also. The iOS will be located, the device will be started, and then the operating system will be located from the flash, that is the major section. If the flash does not have the operating system, it will check the TFTP server. If not there, it will check any other component. So the startup configurations will be loaded, and then that's it, you have your device on. So that is it. The boot up process is here. Power on self test that opens at the ROM, and from there the ROM will now check and load the bootstrap. Then the flash or the TFTP server will locate the operating system and have it loaded. Then the NVRAM, the TFTP server, or the console. Like for instance, if there are configurations that were saved on this device already, the NVRAM will show the content. If there are none, then the TFTP server. If there is no TFTP server, that means the device will prompt you to console, asking you to do your basic configurations. Okay, that is very good. Okay, guys. So until this time, if you guys have any questions, you can ask me. Our basic configuration, we're gonna have a practical. So the Cisco router configurations will be these basic configurations, just like the switch configuration. The only difference are these, and I'm gonna include those ones in your configuration, so you guys know how to do those ones also. So Cisco routers and switches will have many similarities in regard to their configuration. They support similar operating systems and so on, and so they're all the same. They have all configurations are the same on Cisco routers and switch. So similar to configurations of the switch on the previous slide, the initial configuration should include: you configure the router's device name, security exit, user exec mode, telnet, privilege mode, secure all passwords, and provide legal notification and save. That is the banner. So that is it. We're gonna do the configuration, guys, and when we get to that side, if you guys have any questions. So these commands I use to verify your configuration. So I am going to use these commands like the show IP interface brief command, show IP route, and the show interface command. Alright, so those are the commands that I am going to use to do this. So that's going to be our practical. Just gonna have one router, and we have maybe one or two networks, and then that's all. So guys, that's our practical, or that's our theory slide, and we're gonna talk about the practical very soon.